If you ever wondered how far a broken person can go to feel whole again, this is my story. It started with a laugh, sharp, mean, unforgettable. I remember the sound of it echoing through the classroom. Liam Carter's laugh, and then everyone else joined in. "What's this, Aiden?" he shouted across the room, waving my sketchbook in the air. My heart stopped. "Give that back," I said, standing up so fast my chair screeched against the floor. He grinned. "You mean this little art diary? You've got talent, man. Maybe you should show the class." "Liam, I'm serious," I said, my voice shaking. "Give it back now." "Oh, I'm serious too," he said, and his tone made my stomach twist. He turned to his friends. "Hey guys, want to see what our quiet artist has been up to?" I took a step forward, but two of his friends blocked my path. Someone snickered. Then Liam walked to the projector and plugged in a USB. I froze. No, you didn't." "Oh, but I did." His smirk widened. "Let's all appreciate Aiden Lee's masterpieces." The projector flickered, and my drawings filled the screen. Sketches of people, faces, random ideas. Then it landed on one drawing I never meant for anyone to see. Maya. Her face. Her smile. The one I'd drawn 100 times trying to make it perfect. Someone gasped. Then came the laughter. Loud, cruel, endless. "Oh my God, he's in love with Maya!" Someone shouted. "Creepy," another said. "Look at this. He even drew her holding hands with him." I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me. My throat burned, but no words came out. Maya sat 2 rows ahead. She turned around, eyes wide. "Maya, I didn't—" I started. She laughed. A soft, nervous laugh at first, but then she joined the others. It felt like something inside me cracked. "Please stop," I said. My voice barely came out. "Please." "Oh, come on," Liam said. "We're just having fun. You shouldn't draw things if you don't want people to see them." "That's mine," I shouted. "You had no right." He shrugged. "Guess you shouldn't leave stuff in your locker." "Not my fault you're careless." Every laugh stabbed a little deeper. I could feel my face burning. My chest tightened, air turning heavy. The teacher finally walked in. "What's going on here?" Everyone went silent for half a second. Then Liam quickly closed the file and handed her a fake smile. "Just showing the class some art, ma'am. Aiden's really good." She glanced at me. "Aiden, is that true?" I couldn't answer. My voice was gone. Liam grinned. "He's shy. You know artists." More laughter. The teacher frowned but didn't push it. "All right, enough. Everyone, take your seats." As she turned her back, Liam leaned toward me. "Relax," he whispered. "It's just a joke." "A joke?" I whispered back. "You think humiliating me is a joke?" "Lighten up, man," he said. "People laugh, they forget. You'll be fine tomorrow," but I knew they wouldn't forget. People never forget weakness. The bell rang. Everyone poured out, still laughing, whispering. I heard someone say, "Poor Aiden," and another reply, "He kind of deserves it for being weird." When I finally got out of the classroom, Maya was standing by the door. I walked toward her, hoping she'd say something, anything. "Maya," I said quietly, "I didn't mean for you to see that." "It wasn't—" She cut me off. "You drew me, Aiden, without asking." I wasn't going to show anyone. "But you did," she said. "Everyone saw. It's weird." I stared at her. "You laughed too?" She looked down. "I didn't mean to." "You did," I said, my voice breaking. "You did." I turned and walked away before she could say anything else. In the hallway, I heard Liam's voice again. "Hey, Picasso, don't forget to sign my portrait next time." Laughter followed me all the way out the door. I walked home in silence. My backpack felt heavier than ever. The sky was gray, matching the noise in my head. When I reached my room, I shut the door and sat on the floor. I opened my hands. They were shaking. All I could think about was that laugh, that look on Maya's face. I whispered, "I hate them." Then I corrected myself. "No, I hate me. Because I let it happen. Because I didn't fight back. Because I was weak." That night, I tore the remaining pages out of my sketchbook. Each rip sounded like a scream. When I looked at the shredded paper on the floor, something changed in me. Something cold. Something quiet. I stared at the last drawing, Maya's smile, and whispered, "Never again." That was the night I stopped being their victim. That was the day it all broke. They say laughter fades, but they never tell you how long it echoes inside your head. For me, it lasted weeks. Did you see the artist boy? Someone whispered in the hallway. He drew her like she was his girlfriend, another said. Every time I walked past, the whispers followed. I kept my eyes on the floor, pretending not to hear. Pretending was easier than fighting. During lunch, Liam sat across the cafeteria with his friends, loud and shining like he owned the place. He caught my eye once, smirked, and raised his hand like he was waving to an old friend. I looked away. "Hey, Aiden," someone said behind me. I turned. It was Noah, the quiet kid who sat near the back of class. "You okay?" he asked softly. "I'm fine," I lied. He looked at me for a second longer. "People are jerks." "Yeah," I said, pushing food around my tray. "They are." He nodded and walked away without another word. That small moment stuck with me. At least someone noticed, but most didn't. Even teachers acted weird. Mr. Carson, my art teacher, avoided my eyes during class. He used to praise my sketches. Now he just said, "Good effort," and moved on. I stopped drawing. Every pencil line reminded me of their laughter. At home, Emma was waiting for me. She sat cross-legged on my bed, holding a notebook. "Are you okay?" she asked. I threw my bag on the floor. "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." I said I'm fine. She frowned. "You've been skipping meals. You don't even draw anymore." "I don't feel like it," I muttered. She sighed. "You love drawing. That's how you talk when words don't work." I sat beside her. "It doesn't matter. Everyone hates it now. They don't hate your art," she said. "They're just mean." "Same thing." She reached out, her small hand brushing mine. "You're not mean. Don't become like them." Her voice cracked on the last word. That broke something in me again. Softer this time, but deeper. I whispered, "I won't." But I didn't know if that was true. The next day, I didn't go to school. I sat by the window, watching kids walk by in their uniforms, laughing, talking. Their laughter sounded the same, light, harmless, but it felt like a weapon aimed at me. Mom called from the kitchen. "Aiden, are you sick?" "Yeah," I said. She sighed but didn't push. I opened my sketchbook again. The one I'd almost thrown away. Most pages were blank now. I picked up my pencil, stared at it, then dropped it. Instead, I took out a small notebook and wrote, "Day 1. Everyone laughs, but laughter ends. It has to." That became my first journal entry. Not about art, about survival. A few days later, Mom made me go back. When I walked into school, everything felt louder. The whispers, the footsteps, the sound of lockers slamming. "Hey, lover boy," someone called. I ignored it. Liam passed me in the hallway. "Good to see you back, Picasso." I kept walking. He laughed. "What, no comeback?" "You're losing your edge." I turned slightly. "You done?" His grin widened. "Aw, he talks now." I clenched my jaw. "You'll regret it." He tilted his head. "What was that?" "Nothing," I said. "Just talking to myself." He chuckled. Creepy as always. I walked away, my fists tight. My heart beat louder than the hallway noise. Later that day, I got called to the counselor's office. "Come in." "Aiden," said Mr. Grant, smiling in that calm, rehearsed way adults do when they don't know what else to do. He gestured for me to sit. "How have you been feeling?" he asked. "Fine." "I heard about what happened in class," he said gently. "That must have been difficult." "It's over," I said. "Are you sure?" "Sometimes things like that, it's over." He paused. "If you ever need someone to talk to, my door's open." "Thanks." He leaned forward. "You're a talented kid, Aiden. Don't let one mistake—" I cut him off. "Whose mistake was it?" He blinked. "What do you mean?" "I didn't do anything wrong," I said. "But I'm the one everyone looks at." He sighed. "High school can be cruel, but things will get better if you stay positive." I smiled, but it wasn't real. "Right. Positive." When I left his office, I wrote another journal line in my notebook. Day 4. Adults see bruises, not the knife. After that, I started watching. Not drawing, watching. I noticed how Liam's smile changed when teachers looked away. How Maya avoided me but glanced back when she thought I wasn't watching. How people laughed loudest when they were scared of being the next target. I started writing it all down. patterns, reactions, moments. Not for art, for something else. I didn't know what yet, but I could feel it forming inside me. That night, Emma peeked into my room. "You're writing again?" "Yeah." "Good. That means you're healing." I looked at her and smiled faintly. "Yeah, healing, but I wasn't healing. I was remembering. Every laugh, every whisper, every face. And somewhere deep inside, the sound of laughter started to fade. Not because I forgot it, but because I was learning how to make it stop. That night, I heard Emma crying. At first, I thought it was the TV, but then I heard her whisper my name. "Mom, he doesn't smile anymore," she said. "He just sits there staring at nothing." My chest tightened. I lay in the dark, listening. Mom sighed. "He'll be fine, sweetheart. High school's tough, but he's not fine." Emma's voice cracked. "He's different." Their voices faded, but the sound stayed in my head. I got up and looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked hollow, like someone else was staring back. "Is this all I am?" I whispered. The reflection didn't answer. I turned on the light, sat at my desk, and opened my notebook. On the last page, I wrote, Day 10. I'm done being their victim. The next morning, I went to school early. The hallways were quiet, empty. I stood by the lockers and waited. When Liam arrived, surrounded by his friends, I didn't look away. He noticed. "Well, look who's up early," he said. "Miss me?" I smiled. "Not really." He raised an eyebrow. "You got a sense of humor now?" "Guess I learned it from you," I said. He stared for a moment, confused by my tone. Then he laughed and walked off. But that moment, that split second where he looked unsure, it lit something inside me. For the first time, I wasn't scared. In art class, I sat quietly, watching everyone. I noticed small things. How Liam glanced at Maya to check her reaction. How his friends looked at him before laughing. Everything revolved around control. When the bell rang, Noah walked beside me. "People still talking?" he asked. "Always," I said. "You don't care." "I do," I said. "But I'm done letting them win." He looked at me. "You sound different." "I am. We stopped by the water fountain." I lowered my voice. "You hate him too, don't you?" Noah's jaw tightened. "Everyone does. They just don't say it." "Then maybe it's time someone did." He hesitated. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he glanced around. "What are you planning?" "Not revenge," I said. "Not yet. Just the truth." He frowned. "Truth doesn't change people like him?" "Maybe not. But it can destroy his mask." Noah stared at me for a moment, then nodded. "I'm in." That was the first time I smiled in weeks. After school, we met behind the gym. The air smelled like wet grass and dust. Noah pulled out his phone. "I've got screenshots," he said. Messages from him. He bullied Tyler online for months. I took his phone. "Perfect." He looked at me carefully. "You've been planning this, haven't you?" "Not planning," I said. Learning. That night, I went home and opened my laptop. I searched for anything about Liam Carter. Photos, posts, school awards. Then I found it. A scholarship announcement. His name on the list of applicants. Character-based, it said. Applicants must show moral integrity. I almost laughed. "Perfect," I whispered. I printed the page and taped it to my wall. Later, Emma knocked on my door. "You're up late again," she said. "I'm just working." She walked in holding a cup of cocoa. "You're drawing again?" "Something like that," I said. She smiled. "I missed seeing you like this," I smiled back. "Yeah, me too." When she left, I looked at the scholarship form again. If Liam needed a clean image, I'd make sure he never had one again. The next day, I started watching him closely. Not like before, not with fear. I watched like a hunter. When he pushed someone, I noted it. When he lied to a teacher, I memorized it. I even recorded a few moments with my phone. At lunch, Noah slid into the seat across from me. "You're quiet," he said. "I'm thinking." "About what?" "How people hide their monsters behind smiles." He looked at me. "You really think you can beat him?" "I don't need to beat him," I said. "I just need him to show everyone who he really is." He nodded slowly. Then what? Then maybe, I said, I'll finally breathe again. We sat in silence. Around us, laughter echoed, sharp, empty. But for the first time, it didn't feel like it was aimed at me. I looked at my reflection in the cafeteria window. My eyes looked different, focused. That night, before sleeping, I wrote in my notebook again, day 12. I'm not broken anymore. I'm becoming something else, and for the first time since that day, I didn't dream about their laughter. I dreamed about silence. Morning, Aiden, I looked up. Liam's voice had that same smug rhythm, but this time I smiled. Morning, man, I said, shutting my locker. He blinked, confused. You sound happy. Why wouldn't I be? I said. It's a new week. He chuckled awkwardly. Guess you finally got over it? Guess I did. He walked off, whispering something to Jake, both laughing. I laughed too, quietly to myself. At lunch, I sat near them. They paused when I dropped my tray. You're sitting here? Jake asked. I shrugged. Unless you've trademarked the table, Liam grinned. Sure, pull up a chair. And just like that, I was inside the circle. Claire was there too. She smiled politely. Haven't seen you around much. I've been catching up, I said. Trying to get back to normal. She tilted her head. You seem different. Maybe I just stopped caring what people think. She smiled again. That's a rare skill. Liam leaned closer to her, arm draped behind her chair. You should teach me that, I smirked. You're already a pro. They all laughed, but Claire's eyes lingered on me a second longer. When I got home, I wrote in my notebook. Step 1, blend in. The next few days, I perfected it. I laughed when they did, joked about teachers, joined group chats. I even helped Liam with an essay, and he called me a solid dude. If only he knew. One afternoon, Claire found me sketching under the bleachers. I thought you quit drawing, she said. Just taking a break, I replied. She sat beside me. You're better than half the art class. Thanks. She looked at me for a long moment. You're hard to read. I get that a lot. Liam says you're weird, but you don't seem weird, I smiled. Maybe he just doesn't look close enough. She laughed softly. Maybe. That night, I uploaded an anonymous message on the school board chat. Funny how some people preach honesty while cheating on tests. Within minutes, rumors started. By morning, Liam's friend Tyler was sweating in class. Dude, who posted that? He whispered to Liam. No idea, Liam said, but his eyes darted to everyone. Suspicion spread like wildfire. In history class, I heard whispers. Tyler cheated. He's gonna get suspended. I kept my head down, sketching quietly, pretending not to hear. Noah found me later. That was you, wasn't it? I looked up. What was me? He grinned faintly. The rumor. Rumors spread themselves, I said. He nodded slowly. You're getting good at this. I'm not proud, I said, just focused. By Friday, I'd planted 2 more stories. Small lies, harmless on the surface, but enough to make Liam's friends question each other. I saw cracks forming. Jokes felt sharper, smiles thinner. But it wasn't victory that filled me. It was something heavier. That weekend, Claire messaged me. You free? Need to talk. We met at the park. The sky was pale gray, the air cold enough to sting. You okay? I asked. She folded her arms. Something's off with Liam. He's been snapping at everyone. Even me. Maybe stress? Maybe. She hesitated. You've changed, Aiden. You're calmer, stronger. Guess pain does that. She looked down. He shouldn't have done that to you. The sketchbook thing. It was cruel. I stared at her. You laughed too, her voice faltered. I know, I'm sorry. Everyone was laughing. I didn't know what to do. I get it, I said quietly. You picked the safer side. She bit her lip. You hate me, don't you? I shook my head. No, I stopped hating a while ago. Then what are you doing? She asked softly. Trying to make things right? She frowned. By what, hurting people? I didn't answer. She stepped closer. You think you're fixing something, but you're becoming like him. That hit harder than I expected. When she left, I sat on the bench, hands shaking. Was I really any different? Back home, Noah called. Claire's been asking questions, he said. I know. You gonna stop? I can't. Why not? Because it's working. He went quiet. You sound cold, man. Maybe that's what it takes. He sighed. Just don't lose yourself, okay? After we hung up, I stared at my wall, at the photos, the notes, the web of connections I'd drawn. Liam, control. Claire, doubt. Tyler, fear. And at the bottom, me. Who was I turning into? The next Monday, Liam threw his tray at the wall during lunch, shouting at Tyler. You told them, didn't you? Everyone froze. Teachers rushed over. The room buzzed with whispers. I stood there silent, watching. Claire caught my eye across the cafeteria. Her expression wasn't fear, it was recognition. That night, she texted me. You did this, didn't you? I stared at the screen for a long time before replying, Does it matter? Her response came fast. It does to you. I turned off my phone. In the silence that followed, I realized I couldn't tell anymore whether I was winning or just losing myself in the process. Still, when I looked in the mirror before bed, I smiled. Because even if I didn't like the person staring back, at least he wasn't weak. He wore a mask, and everyone believed it. I was packing up after class when I heard her voice. Aiden, can we talk? I froze. I hadn't heard Maya say my name in months. Slowly, I turned. She stood in the doorway, clutching her books like a shield. I just need a minute, she said. Go ahead. My tone was flat, maybe too calm. She stepped closer. I know I'm the last person you want to see. You're not wrong, she winced. I deserve that. Silence stretched between us. The air felt heavy, like the world was waiting for me to react. She tried again. I wanted to say I'm sorry, for that day, for laughing. I looked her straight in the eye. You didn't just laugh, Maya. You looked away when everyone else did. You let them destroy me. Her voice cracked. I know. I hated myself after. Liam was there. Everyone was. I didn't want to be the next target. So you became part of the crowd, I said quietly. Tears shimmered in her eyes. I was scared, Aiden. We all were, I said. But I was the only one who paid for it. She swallowed. You have every right to hate me. I don't hate you, I said. I just don't care anymore. That hurt her more than shouting ever could. She wiped her cheek and whispered, You've changed. I had to. You're colder. Warmer people get burned faster. Her lips trembled. I wish I could take it back. You can't, I said. No one can. She took a shaky breath. Then at least let me tell you something. Maybe it'll help. I raised an eyebrow. Go on. She hesitated. You know Liam's online all the time, right? Those anonymous pages where people get roasted or bullied? Yeah, I said slowly. He runs them. At least one of them, maybe more. I found out because he used my phone once to log in. I saw the name, Crimson Echo. I frowned. You're sure? She nodded. He writes posts about students, spreads rumors, even fake screenshots. Half the drama this year came from him. A cold fire lit inside me. Why are you telling me this? Because it's wrong, she said, and because I owe you something real. I studied her face. You're not doing this to feel better? Maybe a little, she admitted. But mostly because I want you to know the truth. I exhaled slowly. The truth doesn't erase what happened. I know, she whispered. But maybe it helps you move on. I gave a small, humorless laugh. You think I want to move on? She blinked. Don't you? No, I said. I want balance. She frowned. Balance? Call it justice. Call it karma. Whatever makes it sound less ugly. Her voice trembled. Aiden, please don't do something you'll regret. I already regret not doing something sooner. She took a step back. You're scaring me. Good. I said quietly. Maybe that means I'm finally being honest. She looked like she wanted to say more, but instead she turned and left. The sound of her footsteps faded down the hall, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I sat back down, staring at the empty desk where she'd stood. My hands were shaking, not from guilt, from clarity. Crimson Echo. That was the missing piece. The final mask Liam wore. I opened my phone, logged into an old forum I'd once used, and began searching. It didn't take long. The posts were everywhere. Cruel jokes, fake stories, humiliating edits. His style was obvious. The arrogance, the phrasing, the same kind of laughter that once filled that classroom. Noah messaged me later that night. "You're quiet. Something up?" "I found something," I typed. "What?" "Proof. Real proof." He replied instantly. "You sure?" "Yes." "What are you gonna do?" I stared at the screen for a long moment before typing, "End it." He sent a single word back. "Careful." I didn't answer. Instead, I opened a blank folder on my laptop and started collecting screenshots, timestamps, and comment threads. Every post, every insult, every digital scar. My breathing slowed. My heartbeat steadied. This wasn't rage anymore. It was focus. Maya's apology echoed in my head. Too little, too late. I whispered to myself, "You gave me what I needed, Maya. You just don't know what it'll cost him." And for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. Cold, sharp, purposeful, peace that comes before a storm. When I hit send, I didn't feel triumph, just silence. The email to the Meta school board sat open on my screen. Screenshots, chat logs, usernames, timestamps. Every post Liam made as Crimson Echo was there. Noah's message popped up instantly. "You did it?" "Yeah," I typed. "They'll get it by morning." He replied, "You sure about this?" "I'm past being sure," I said. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. It felt like the air itself was waiting. By the next day, the cracks began to show. Whispers filled the hallways like static. "Did you hear? Liam's in trouble." The principal called him in. I kept my head down, pretending not to listen. Claire caught up to me at lunch. "Aiden, do you know what's going on with Liam?" I shook my head. "Why would I?" "He's furious," she said. "Something about fake accounts. They say the school's investigating him." I feigned surprise. "Wow," she narrowed her eyes. "You don't look shocked." "I'm just tired," I said. "Rumors happen every week." She studied me, then sighed. "You're lying about something." "Maybe," I said. That night, Noah called. "You see the news?" "What news?" "The scholarship board withdrew Liam's interview. They said they received new information about cyberbullying claims." I smiled faintly. "Guess justice travels fast." Noah was quiet. "You sound different." "I just sound done." The next morning, chaos exploded. Liam stormed into school, face pale with rage. "Who the hell did this?" he shouted in the hallway. "Someone's framing me!" No one answered. Phones were out. Screens glowed with threads of screenshots, usernames, matching posts. He slammed a locker. "I'll find who did it." Claire tried to calm him. "Liam yelling won't fix it." He turned on her. "You think I did this?" "I don't know what to think," she said. "But people don't fake this kind of detail." "Don't you start," he hissed. "You've always been jealous when people liked me." Her eyes widened. "Jealous? Of what? Your ego?" "Shut up," he barked, stepping closer. People started filming. I stood near the stairwell, heart pounding. My fingers trembled, but I didn't move. "Liam, stop," Claire said, her voice shaking. He shoved her shoulder. "I said, shut up!" The slap echoed through the hallway. Gasps erupted. Phones caught everything. Her tearful face, his raised hand, the stunned silence that followed. Then Noah's voice cut through the noise. Got it. He held up his phone, recording steady. Liam turned, eyes wild. You smile for the camera, Noah said coldly. Teachers rushed in, separating them, shouting orders. Students whispered, filming, posting. Within minutes, the clip hit the group chats. Within hours, it hit the internet. By evening, it had thousands of views. Liam's name was everywhere. School bully exposed, scholarship candidate attacks, girlfriend, Crimson Echo revealed. I watched from my bed as it unfolded, the screen glowing against my hands. Noah texted, "We did it." I stared at those words for a long time before replying, "Yeah, we did." But something didn't feel like victory. The next day, Liam didn't come to school. His locker was cleaned out by lunch. Teachers looked uneasy, whispers spreading again. Suspension, expulsion, maybe worse. Claire sat alone outside, eyes red. I walked up quietly. "You okay?" She looked up. "Do I look okay?" "No," I said honestly. She exhaled shakily. "He's gone. His parents pulled him out. Said he's dealing with emotional stress." "Emotional stress?" I said bitterly. "He caused everyone else's." She frowned. "Aiden, you sound almost glad." I didn't deny it. "Maybe I am." She studied me, voice trembling. "Was it you?" "What?" "The leak? The emails? The posts? Was it you?" I met her eyes and said nothing. She shook her head. "I thought you wanted to move on." "I did," I said. "But sometimes moving on means burning the bridge behind you." Tears welled up again. "He hit me, Aiden. He humiliated you. Maybe he deserved some of it, but you look empty right now." I swallowed. "Maybe that's the cost." She stepped closer. "Don't let him turn you into him." I forced a smile. Too late. That night, Noah and I met by the park benches. He tossed me a soda can. "To the end of a tyrant," he said. I raised it. "To balance." We drank in silence. After a while, he said, "So what now?" "I don't know," I said. "I thought it'd feel better." "Doesn't?" I shook my head. "It feels quiet." He sighed. "Guess revenge doesn't come with peace." I looked up at the sky, gray and heavy. "No, just space where the noise used to be." He nodded. "At least it's over." "Yeah," I said softly. "Over." When I got home, I opened my laptop again. The headlines were still there. Liam's face, screenshots, the slap. The world was finally seeing what I'd seen for years. I thought that would heal something. It didn't. All I felt was a strange emptiness. Like I'd built a fire so hot it burned out the air around it. Emma knocked on my door. "You okay?" "Yeah," I lied. She peeked in. "You look tired." "Just school stuff," I said. "Okay. Love you, Aiden. Love you too." When she left, I whispered to myself, "Liam's gone. It's done." But deep down, I knew it wasn't done. Because when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see a victim anymore. I saw someone who'd learned how to hurt and liked how it felt to have control. That realization scared me more than anything Liam ever did. The king had fallen, but the crown didn't vanish. It just rolled toward me. Liam's suspension was official by Monday morning. The announcement came over the speakers, calm, formal, cold. The student involved in the recent misconduct will be suspended indefinitely. No name. But everyone knew Maya didn't show up to class. Claire kept her head down. And me. I sat there silent, pretending I hadn't just set fire to someone's life. By lunch, whispers filled every hallway. "He's done. His scholarship's gone. His parents are furious." I kept my mask on. It fit too well by now. Then Mr. Grant called me to his office. When I walked in, he was standing by the window, hands clasped. "Aiden," he said quietly. "Close the door." I obeyed. He didn't sit. "You've been quiet lately." "I guess," I said. Just focusing on school. He turned to face me. His eyes were sharp but sad. You're a smart boy. Smarter than most give you credit for? Thanks. And I know what you did. The air froze. What do you mean? He took a step closer. Don't play dumb. The email to the board. The screenshots. You exposed him, I swallowed hard. You don't have proof. I don't need it, he said. I see it in your eyes. I looked away. So what? He got what he deserved. Mr. Grant sighed. Maybe he did, but you. What have you become in the process? I clenched my fists. I became someone who finally fought back. By destroying him? He destroyed me first, I snapped. No one stopped him, not you, not anyone. His voice softened. You're right. We failed you. But this path won't heal you. I glared at him. Healing isn't the point anymore. He shook his head. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. He walked to his desk and sat down slowly. You can still choose who you'll be next. I already chose, I said, turning to leave. His last words followed me out. Then may that choice not haunt you forever. I didn't reply. When I got home, the house was quiet. Too quiet, Emma, I called. She didn't answer. I walked into my room and froze. My journal was open on the bed. The one with everything. Sketches, screenshots, notes, my plan. Emma sat beside it, eyes red from crying. What is this? She whispered. My throat went dry. Emma, put that away. She stood up, shaking. You wrote everything down. Every step. Every lie. It's not what it looks like. It looks like you wanted to hurt him. He hurt me first, I said louder than I meant to. She flinched. So you wanted revenge? I hesitated. I wanted justice. Justice? She cried. You ruined his life. He ruined mine. Tears spilled down her face. You're not him, Aiden. You're supposed to be better. Her words hit harder than any punch. I did what no one else would, I said weakly. You don't understand. I understand enough, she said. You used to draw things that made people smile. Now you write things that make people suffer. I looked at her, helpless. Emma, she backed away. I don't even recognize you. The silence between us felt unbearable. She grabbed the journal and pressed it against my chest. Whatever this is, burn it, before it burns you. Then she ran out, slamming the door. I stood there, trembling. For the first time, the pages in my hand felt heavy. My handwriting looked foreign, sharp, cruel, deliberate. Every note was a piece of my anger made permanent. Noah messaged me, "You okay?" I typed back, "Not really. Why?" "We won." "Yeah," I wrote, "We won, but I don't know what we lost." He didn't answer for a while. Then, "Maybe it's time to stop." I stared at the blinking cursor. I don't know how. I closed the journal, staring at the cover. My name was written on the first page, Aiden Cole, art journal. It didn't look like art anymore. It looked like a confession. That night, I couldn't sleep. Emma's words echoed in my mind. I don't recognize you. I got up, walked outside, and sat on the porch. The wind was cold, sharp, honest. I whispered to the dark, "What have I done?" No answer came, only the hollow feeling that maybe, somewhere along the way, I'd stopped fighting bullies and started becoming one. Mr. Grant's voice returned. Quiet and steady. You can still choose who you'll be next. I looked up at the sky and murmured, then maybe I need to start over. But the question that haunted me most was simple. Who would I be without my anger? And for the first time since that day in the classroom, I realized I didn't know anymore. 3 weeks after Liam's suspension, the rumor was he'd transferred schools. No goodbye, no message, just gone. People whispered less now. The storm had passed. The halls were calm again, almost peaceful. But peace doesn't always mean healing. Noah met me outside the art room. He's really gone, he said. Yeah, I replied. Feels weird, doesn't it? Yeah, I said again, though the word tasted empty. He kicked at the ground. You should be happy. I should, I admitted. But I'm not, he studied me. Because you missed the fight? Because the fight became me, I said quietly. Noah nodded slowly. I started writing again. About what? About surviving, he said. Not winning, just surviving. I gave him a faint smile. That's good. You could write too. he suggested. You used to. I burned out, I muttered. He looked at me, almost sad. Then maybe you should burn something else. Before I could respond, he walked away. Later that day, I saw Maya by the lockers. Her eyes were swollen, suitcase at her feet. You're leaving? I asked. She nodded. My mom's job. New town, new start. Good for you, I said flatly. She hesitated. Aiden, I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but I mean it. I believe you, I said. But that doesn't change what happened. Her voice cracked. I just wanted you to know I never stopped feeling guilty. I sighed. Then maybe that's punishment enough, she bit her lip. You were right about Liam, he fooled all of us. Yeah, I said softly. Even me, she gave a small, trembling smile. Take care of yourself, okay? I'll try. She turned to leave, then stopped. You're not a bad person, Aiden. I don't know, I said. But I'm trying not to be. When she disappeared down the hallway, I felt something strange. Not anger, not grief. Just space. Empty space where hate used to live. That evening, Claire found me behind the school, near the old benches. You're hard to find, she said, sitting beside me. I'm not hiding. Maybe not, she said. But you're disappearing. I gave a short laugh. Maybe that's easier. She looked at me, eyes full of quiet regret. I wanted to say thank you. For what? For showing everyone who he really was. I stared ahead. You think I did the right thing? She hesitated. I think you did what had to be done. That's not the same. No, she admitted. It's not. We sat in silence for a while. Then she asked softly, Do you ever wish you hadn't? I didn't answer right away. The wind carried the smell of rain, faint, cleansing, every day, I finally said. But I also know I couldn't have done nothing. Claire nodded. You lost something, though. Myself, I whispered. She reached over, touching my sleeve. Maybe not forever. When she left, I stayed, listening to the rain begin to fall. Each drop felt like it was trying to wash something away. At home, Emma was drawing in her room. She looked up when I entered. Hey, she said quietly. Hey, you okay? I'm getting there. Her eyes softened. Did you think about what I said? Yeah, I said. A lot. She gave a faint smile. Good. I sat beside her. Emma, you were right. About me. About everything. She put down her pencil. What are you going to do? I looked toward my room. End it. She frowned. End what? The story, I said. In my room, the journal waited on the desk. Its pages were filled with anger, plans, and shadows of who I used to be. I flipped through them slowly. Every word felt like a scar. I took it outside. The night was cool, the sky silver with clouds. Emma followed quietly. Are you sure? She asked. I'm sure, I said. This isn't me anymore. She handed me a lighter. Then let it go. The flame caught easily. The paper curled, blackened, and broke apart. We watched in silence as the smoke rose. When the last ember died, I whispered, I won. But I lost the person I used to be. Emma looked at me sadly. Maybe that person isn't gone. Maybe he's just waiting, I smiled faintly. Then maybe it's time I find him again. The ashes drifted into the night, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel angry. Just free. The bell rang, and my students rushed out, leaving the art room in its usual chaos, brushes, smudged palettes, and laughter echoing down the hall. I stood by the window, watching them disappear into the afternoon light. Mr. Hale, a voice called. It was Zoe, one of my seniors. She held a sketchbook close to her chest. Do you really think art can change people? I smiled faintly. I think it can show them who they already are. She tilted her head. That sounds deep. Just experience talking, I said. She hesitated. You always say that. Experience, what happened to you? I chuckled softly. A long story. I like long stories, she said, grinning. I looked at her sketchbook. A mix of color and confusion, the kind of work that came from someone still figuring themselves out. Then sit, I said, pulling up a chair. She sat. So what's the story? I leaned back. Once there was a boy who loved to draw. He carried his sketchbook everywhere. It was the only place he felt safe. Zoe smiled. Sounds like me. Maybe, I said. But one day someone took that sketchbook and used it to destroy him. Her smile faded. That's awful. What did he do? He broke, I said quietly. He stopped drawing. Stopped talking. He wanted the world to hurt the way he did. Her eyes softened. Did it work? In a way, I said. He learned how to make people pay. He got good at it. Too good. Zoe frowned. So, he became like them? I looked at the half-finished painting on the easel, a boy standing in a field of ashes. Exactly like them. She was quiet for a while. Then she whispered, did he ever stop? One day, someone he loved found what he'd been doing, I said. And she cried. Not because of what he'd done, but because she didn't recognize him anymore. Zoe's voice was small. What did he do then? He burned it all, I said. Everything he'd built out of anger. Every word, every plan. And when the smoke cleared, he started over. She leaned forward. So he got better? He learned, I said. That revenge can close a wound, but it can't heal it. Zoe nodded slowly. Did he ever draw again? I smiled. He's teaching art now. Her eyes widened. Wait, I shook my head, laughing softly. Don't look at me like that. It's just a story. But it's about you, isn't it? Maybe, I said. Maybe not, she smiled shyly. You should tell it to the whole class. Maybe someday, I replied. When they're ready. The final bell echoed faintly down the hall. She stood, clutching her sketchbook. Thanks, Mr. Hale. For what? For telling the story. I think I needed to hear it. I nodded. So did I. When she left, the room felt quieter, peaceful, in a way it hadn't been in years. I looked down at the small charcoal drawing on my desk. A boy standing in rain, face half lit, eyes tired but alive. I'd drawn it that morning without really thinking. I whispered, You made it. Outside, the sun dipped behind the trees, staining the sky in shades of gold and gray. Sometimes I still think about that day. The laughter, the betrayal, the fire. And every time I remind myself, it wasn't the end of my story. It was just the part that hurt the most. I turned off the lights, grabbed my coat, and glanced back one last time. They say karma comes for everyone, I murmured. But sometimes it wears your own face.